Hey guys, I just want to give you all a quick little nugget on mentoring students. This is going to be really practical because I feel like as a life group leader, I'm asking you to mentor a student. You're like, I don't know what to do. Well, this is going to be helpful. As you know, I'm a reader, and so I read a bunch of books. And so this came from a couple different books. I kind of put it together for you. Here's what I want you to sink your teeth into. I think this generation is really, really informed, but they don't know how to act on that knowledge. And that's what wisdom is. Wisdom is knowing how to act on the stuff you know, right? And act in the right way. And this is where application turns information into wisdom. And this is where the role of mentors come into play. This is where you come into play, is that they can be well informed. They can know about Jesus and all that jazz. But if they don't know how to apply it, right? They don't know how to live it out. They don't have the wisdom about it, right? And so where we need to step in terms of mentorship is giving them the big idea. It's an acronym, IDEA, IDEA, instruct, demonstrate, experience, then assess. But before we can instruct, right? Before we got to give them the big idea, before we mentor them this way, the two things we have to do. We have to first find the one who has a servant heart. Find one who isn't trying to be a superstar, who's teachable. And if they can lead one, then they're a leader. And that's what we're looking for. So find the one who has a servant heart. And then two, instruction. Before we can start mentoring, it starts with listening. That's the first thing you do, is you listen. Helping someone become like Jesus starts with listening, not with talking. And so listen for personality, listen for gifts and passions and skills and fears. And what it does is it personalizes how you lead them, how you mentor them. Mentorship is very personal. It's life on life. And so then you can start instructing once you know all that about them, right? You can start instructing with conversation, insights, explanations, images, stories. Images are really powerful with students. This is where it starts with. If you're going to give them the big idea, mentor them, it starts with instruction and personalize it after you've heard them. Second thing is demonstrate. People do what people see. That's how people work. If I see you do something, I can copy it. And so give them an example with a story or with a life, with a testimony. And so this is where I want to challenge you. Do ministry with them, not for them. Have occasions where you go to the store with them and you bring them along and they see how you act and respond to the guy who cut you off. Have them watch and observe, and then give them little tasks to help you along the way, help you minister, help you do things along the way. Life on light, demonstrate. That's powerful. Don't just instruct, demonstrate. And then in that, you'll tell them the why. You'll verbalize the why behind what you do. And so don't get offended by them questioning what you do. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? What they're doing is they're learning. So you've instructed them. Now you're demonstrating it before them and you're telling them the why. You see what I'm saying? This is mentoring. The next part, instruct, demonstrate, the E, experience. Turn them loose. Let them experiment and experience themselves. Trust them to go off, and you verbalize the why. Let them experience it. Turn them loose. Let them make the mistakes. Let them do it and try it on their own. But challenge them to do it. Give them a challenge, right? Let them experiment and give them a challenge. And then lastly, assess. You know what I found is that experience isn't the best teacher. Experiences with evaluation are the best teacher. It's not that you just do, it's that you go back and you review. That's what teaches you. And so take time to debrief after you've sent them out with a challenge. Hey, I challenged you to do this recently. How has it been going? Well, what are you doing? Oh, you don't have enough margin in your day. Well, you need to wake up earlier, and so you assess. Part of this is like character formation and skill building. And what happens is after we see that they've grown in skill and character, after we've instructed them personally to how they learn, and we've demonstrated and we've turned them loose with a challenge, and they're experimenting and they're experiencing themselves, and we've assessed with them and we see that they've grown in skill and character, then give them a responsibility, delegate something to them. Hey, from now on, you're going to do this, and I want to have you do this, and hold them accountable. And then honestly, the last part is help them disciple and mentor someone else. Now you teach them. Now you instruct. Now you demonstrate. Now you tell them to experience. Now you assess with them. You let your disciples make disciples, and that's how you know you're really doing mentorship well. And guess what? It takes time. Mentorship is a relationship. It takes time to do that. And so again, application turns information into wisdom. And that's what this generation's lacking, wisdom. They know everything. They have Google at their fingertips, but they don't experience it, right? How do we get them there? We mentor them by giving them the big idea, right? We instruct. But before we instruct, We listen. We spend time listening about who they are and how they learn. Then we instruct them. We tell them what it's all about. We tell them the what. Then what we do is we demonstrate. People do what people see, right? We bring them along the journey. We observe. We let them participate and cooperate with us. We communicate the why behind what we do, which is everything. Thirdly, we experience. We let them experience. We give them a challenge. We give them a little bit of responsibility. We turn them loose on it. And then lastly, we assess. We get feedback. We ask them questions about how they felt, what they did wrong, what they did right. How can we improve? We assess. Then we turn them back loose again. And when we see that they've grown in maturity and character and skill, then we plug them in. We give them a responsibility that's more permanent, and then we challenge them to give the big idea to someone else. They instruct, they demonstrate, they experience, they assess afterwards. Hey, I love you guys. I pray that this was helpful.